Okay, good morning grade 7, and this week in geography we're going to be continuing on with our unit Great Places to Live. This unit has been our focus for this semester, and we've been developing our ideas around the key inquiry question: why do people live where they live? And the key terminology we've been using is population distribution. Okay, so we've been looking at how do the things that affect where people live distribute the population around the globe. Story so far. We've looked at how economics distributes population around the globe. Looked at how water quality does, about transport and infrastructure, and how air pollution affects where people live and the livability of the places where they live. Okay, the economics. We've learnt about how some people, the underclasses, cannot choose where they live. They have no choice or freedom. They're controlled by the people who control the money, the capitalists. Okay? These were key terminologies that we learnt in this lesson. If you do not understand these terminologies, you need to come up to me at the end of the lesson to refresh your knowledge. Okay? So in this pic here, it just shows the labour forces have to chase the money and uphold the upper classes who have all the money. Okay? Then we had a bit of a case study look at the Occupy Wall Street movement. Okay? And we learned about how the 99%, the lowest classes, were looking after the higher classes. And then we had a bit of a quote from Nelson Mandela, which is on the board as well, that helped us to have our own human agency to be able to impact on poverty. Then we learned about water quality, basic human need for water, infrastructure in developed countries, and then some of the infrastructure that's being put into underdeveloped countries that's changing population distribution in those countries and how people live their lives. Okay, we did a case study of Melbourne transport systems, okay, and livability of that city and how the transport system really improves the livability of that city. And then we learned about air pollution in the last lesson. So in groups of 3, I would like you to list the impact of air pollution on livability in China. Okay? So these are the same groups that we worked in last lesson, and I'll give you about 5 minutes to answer that question. Okay, today's lesson, the main concept we're going to be referring to and we're going to be understanding and inquiring into is that social connection equals livability. Okay, so social connection can be broadly defined as a connection between ourselves and others. Okay, we know that it's essential throughout our lives. Okay, a baby needs as much social connection with its mother as elderly citizens need as much social connection with each other through companionship. Okay, we also know that there are some people who are more socially connected than others. Okay. We might find out some of the reasons why that is in this lesson. Okay, to start this topic, I would like you to just have a quick reflection on your own social connections. What does social connectedness mean to you? What are the critical social connections in your life? And how important are social connections to your own ability to live? Okay, you've got about 3 minutes, so 1 minute per question to answer those. Okay. We're all social animals, okay? Since the plains of Africa, when we learned to run away from animals, and we've helped each other to run away from animals, we've been social animals. We've socialised with each other, okay? Some of the first rock paintings and the first forms of art and evidence of our social connectedness to each other are in Australia, in the Aboriginal rock painting caves in Northern Territory. And like some animals, like dolphins and gorillas, we learn social connectedness through fun and through play, and then we translated it into socially connecting over important issues that are relevant to all people, okay, and improve our livability by talking about these issues, such as in To Kill a Mockingbird, which is important for understanding racism. Okay, some social connections that might matter in your life. Okay, so family is the obvious important one. We learn everything from our family and support. Okay, we might rely organisations like Lifeline. Today's day and age, the internet's very important because of globalisation. Our world is shrinking, and we need to be able to communicate over longer distances because things that happen in those longer distances affect our lives. Okay, some barriers to social connection. Poor health, poor education, poor transport, poor social skills, overuse of drugs and alcohol, and racism and discrimination. Okay? I want you to write down 3 reasons why these concepts are barriers. Come up with 3 more barriers of your own. Have about 10 minutes to do that by yourselves in your exercise books. Okay, some barriers for Aboriginal Australians. Our key artefacts that we're going to be used to be looking at Aboriginal Australians is this poster here. We're going to be using this poster for the rest of the lessons as you inquire into some of the barriers for Aboriginal Australians, okay? This poster was taken from around the time of the 1967 referendum. Okay, this referendum gave citizenship rights and allowed Aboriginal people to vote, to be more socially connected in Australian society. Okay? Allegedly, and symbolically, this has improved the livability for Aboriginal Australians. Okay, so the lesson task for the rest of this lesson is in groups of 4 you are to answer the following questions in a Word document. 150 words should be spent per question. Okay, and there are your 4 questions there. You all have the sheets in front of you, so you should all know those questions and refer to those questions as you answer them. Some points to remember when you're answering those questions is that we need to use evidence in support of our answers. Okay, we also need to use both primary sources and secondary sources. You may be able to use some of the secondary sources, such as the textbooks up the back, to be able to locate images of primary sources. That is completely fine. And our answers should be supported by using a range of data forms, maps, graphs, or data tables. Because remember, one of the key things you're assessed on is the presentation of your work. Alrighty, thanks for doing that task. And we're just going to have a quick reflection on this lesson. Okay, we've got 2 photos here. One is of some kids in Bhutan, and the second is of a mansion in the United States of America. Okay, the kids in Bhutan. Now, Bhutan is a country that measures its growth through the term of gross domestic happiness. Okay, as opposed to most other countries which measure their growth through gross domestic product. Okay, so the social policies that Bhutan puts in place are aimed at building social connectedness, whereas the social policies that America puts in place with this mansion are aimed at building economic growth. I want you to reflect on how important are social connections to livability, particularly in reference to whether they are more important than economic growth.